The tint it's got to it in the sun when it... Maybe we'll get a big donkey hiding by one of these. Don't get your hopes up. This is Debos Fishing, remember? Jesus. Set the hook about. Fell out of the boat. My gosh, I said dude, I can't go through this without throwing a frog. Luckily I got through it without falling out. Oh, some frogfish. Frogfish are always welcome in the boat. Another 2-pounder. Think so? We'll weigh him just to see.
No, I was saying it. I thought it was bigger than...
Oh, now you're making me feel bad. It ain't that big, Debo. 2 pounds, 1 ounce. All right, well, a couple 2-pounders on the day. I'll take it. Little frogfish. It was an underspin swim bait bite that was going well. And then like that, it shut off. Moved around, tried throwing some Texas rigs. I gotta throw a frog around some of this. Hold on, don't go around this tree yet. Nice, Brando. Brando on the frogfish too. Get him. Yeah, a couple frogfish. I like it. Mid-morning frog bite. I'll take it. There we go. Another little pounder. Still on a frog. They can be any size on the frog. I care not. If I could only fish one lure for the rest of my life, this would be it. Frog. Favorite way to catch them in all this gross... Look at this. Look at all this moss that we've got in front of us that nobody's really even touched. Couple here and there. And most people just don't like to fish all this gross stuff. Get it on your lures and... Oh, I love it. That's why you have a heavy stick. It's not because you need it for the bass. It's because of all this crap once you hook them. I don't know if he's still on there or not. Get to the boat, not the chopper. I don't feel any movement.
Oh, let's get him in the boat.
Oh, yes. Oh my God, no better feeling than this. Brando, I gotta thank you for letting me come out in your boat today. Oh my gosh. That's a good little fish in there, look at that. It's got old Greg all over him. Not as big as I thought, but...
The grass makes it.
All right, there we go. Another frogfish. Had to do the Instagram thing. He's over too. Let's see. We'll just see what kind of bag we get. If we have enough 2-pounders to make 10 pounds for Debo, that's a victory. Usually my 10 fish equal 1 pound. 115, just barely under 2 pounds. 1 pound, 15 ounces. Okay, well, still a 2-pounder. He's longer, but kind of skinnier. Okay, friend, thank you for eating the frog. I appreciate you.
You guys are blasting them, right?
Yeah. Well, there was a fish on there. Sorry, feller. I tried the hook set boat flip all in one, I guess.
See that different vegetation? That's what...
On the edge of it.
That's what...
Sorry, Brand. Oh, no! You grabbed it and shook that fish off. Did y'all see that? Brando grabbed it and shook that fish off. Oh, I feel like a solid one. Throw in there. Maybe they want your frog.
This one up here.
Did I set the line right into you?
Yeah.
No, you shook it off. I watched you. There was more than just a push. Yeah, I saw this and pound and a halfer, I think. Gosh, not a pound and a halfer. That's the one that Brando just shook off. That one didn't get shaken off. Dude, I owe you a boat cleaning. That is what frog fishing is all about, fishing friends. My favorite. I thank Brando for this, for letting me come out with him today. And that fish absolutely smoked it. That frog was in there. 2 pounds, 10 ounces. Close, right in the middle. 2 pounds, 10 ounces. All right, 2.5 pounder. Any fish is fun on a frog for me. 2.5 pounders all day in my book are fun. This is not so fun. This is why I owe Brando a boat cleaning. Yikes. No, he just slurped it. It could be, but it looked like he just kind of come up and slurped it. Oh, decent fish. I'm gonna try not to get 17,000 pounds of waste in here again. Yeah, just a smaller guy. That's all right. Still on the frog. He just kind of came up and that frog looks good. He's thick, a little pound and a halfer. The frog stuff. Maybe I need to do a frog video of like different frogs that I like. This happens to be the River to Sea Bullywah, that black and yellow. I like that you can really see the nose of it when it's moving. That's about all I got to say about that. Oh. It's a decent one. 2 pounder maybe.
Oh no, that's a 3.
No.
That's a 3.
That's not a 3.
That's a 3. That's a 2. That's a 3. That's a 3.
Another frog fish. No better way of fishing. I could do this all day. He was not going anywhere. 2 pounds, 10 ounces. Another just over 2.5. 2 pounders, 2.5 pounders. Awesome day in my book. Look at that. Nice chunk there. Off he goes. The frog bite. Brando and I were just talking about, we've been trying to find any sort of pattern in this stuff. I know it looks monotonous, and a lot of these times, when you're out fishing this stuff or pads or whatever, it can be, but we've noticed that oftentimes when there's 2 different types of vegetation butting up, one right after the other, like this pad's right next to this, or we're in that weird grass back there, tended to have more luck. But sometimes you just kind of got to look for stuff that's different. I've really tried to focus on every tree, really making sure I bring up every single little tree and anywhere where I think a fish could be.
Got him. Debo dink.
Debo dink. Debo dink. Gooden.
Right on the grass edge.
Damn it, why aren't they eating this? I figured there'd be some on that.
Get my worm.
Where? Oh God, it's like my hat.
Didn't that same thing happen here?
Oh God. Almost poked your eye out too. Dang, nice Brando. Oh yeah, chunk. Nice, dude. On the old Texas rig up in there. Yep, I'm gonna drag this down this yawn point.
Oh God, it's a big one. It's a freaking big one.
Oh, toad, dude. Dang, Brando catching the big ones out
All right,
here.
fishing friends, that was the trip. Awesome fun. I absolutely love any time I can get on a bunch of frog fish. Pounders, 2 pounders, 2.5 pounders, always a fun day to me. Like I said in the video, frog fishing is my favorite thing to do. This is not the frog I was throwing. This is a spro. Another good frog. I was throwing the River to Sea Bullywah in that black and yellow. You all saw me throw that one over the years. The all black one's probably my favorite that they make. But they make a number of different good ones, and that one's a little bit heavier frog, and I do like that when you've got a little bit more scum, like I had there. And another tip is when you work your frog and that type of stuff, don't be afraid to work it really tip down and make that frog kind of dig into that scum. In places like that, that way it's leaving a trail behind the frog so that fish can key in on it exactly where that frog's at. But river to sea frog is good. This spro frog is also another really good one. I'll leave all these linked down below in case you want to look at them. Also the rods, speaking about another company that's supported me this year, Monster Bass. I really liked the rods. So far, probably my favorite two out of them. The casting, this is one of them. And then the spinning rod, I've talked about it before, but I think that's my favorite out of the bunch. But this is the Lunker Stick, and if you see here, so this is the 7.4 heavy power, fast action, rated for lures up to 1.5 ounces. And of course, that's pretty common. Anytime you're talking about a heavy rod, up to 1.5 ounces is really common what you're gonna see, you know, with a number of different companies. The hard thing is there's not like an industry standard, so one company's heavy rod up to 1.5 ounces may feel a lot softer, you know, bendier. This is pretty close to a fast with a heavier frog on it. I feel like it does really well. If you step down to something like a Booyah Pad Crasher, a little bit smaller frogs, I like a softer heavy or even a little bit stiffer medium heavy, if that makes sense. I need to really get back into the gear stuff because these are some of my favorite videos to do and talk through this stuff, and I've kind of neglected those. Because, speaking of gear right here, one of the brand new Revos, I think this is the first time I'm showing one of these, has the brand new handle knobs on it, which are a lot longer. You can see there, I absolutely love those. The reel is super comfortable. This is, just to give you another look at the side there, this is the Revo SX Rocket. Which, if you can see right there, it's a 9.0 to 1 speed, bringing in, what is it? Daggum, 39 inches of braid on here, speaking of. Was messing around trying some different stuff when I put this one on. This is actually some Suffix 832. Awesome braid out there. There's a number of different good lines, and we were just talking about that on the past live. I go live every Saturday night. We're talking about some different braids and stuff. It's crazy how far braid has come. You know, back in the day, my first was Gorilla Wire or Gorilla, I think that's what it was called. Gorilla Wire, Gorilla Thread was the first braid I ever used. And I was like, what in the hell is this stuff? Because I always use mono. So, how far braid has come is pretty crazy. But the new line of Revo reels I am absolutely loving. They just kind of revamped the nose of these a little bit different shape to it there. Super comfortable in hand, felt really well. I had zero issues with it out on the water. Do you need that fast of a reel for frogging? Absolutely not. I'm a big fan of like a 7.0 speed, but got one of these to try out, this 9 speed, and so far I've liked it. Solid feeling little reel. So what I think was the key to success for me on this trip frogging was really looking for anything that's different. And you might hear that all the time, but it was really true. Anytime we had different vegetation, I noticed especially on the edges of the lily pads when they were getting ready to end or start, I caught a fish. When there was a bunch of weird, like really thick grass stuff right before that started where kind of the mossy, scummy stuff was, I caught a bass. Seemed to be any time like that, and also around the larger trees. Wasn't always the bigger ones, but really focusing, trying to get your frog right next to that tree in case there's anything laying right under it, try to get that strike. So look for things that are different. If a spot looks really fishy, I think this was a Rand Dizzle saying, spot looks fishy, fish it, right? Don't be afraid to spend a little bit more time in a spot that you're like, this kind of matches what I've been doing before. I really feel like I should get a bite here, throw a few more times. Now I also have to give a shout out to Brando for putting up with my crap in the boat. He's a good sport. We give each other crap back and forth. But on the previous video where I was fishing the swim bait, that underspin, somebody said, were you back at the boat in Brando? I didn't see him catch anything. I said, yes. Second half of the day, he kicked my butt. And as you saw at the end there, he has definitely outfished me this year, catching 2 5-pounders almost in one day. So dude can catch the fish. Brando, thank you for taking me on the boat. And speaking of, got to thank all my fishing friends out there for everybody who watches. Kenny H is the subscribed fishing friend of the day. Just randomly commented. One that actually really hit near and dear to me. Look at that. I need to throw the swim bait more. I oftentimes focus on or limit myself way too much to the old faithfuls. And that one really hit when I opened it. I haven't even got a chance to reply to it. Well, I was editing and it popped up. But dude, that is so true. Like, people will go out and they'll have a couple old faithfuls. They're confidence baits, right? And the fish aren't hitting, and they're like, it's a waste of day. They're not biting. Don't be afraid to experiment. Really learn a lure, get comfortable with it, get confident in it, and then start branching out. You know, I did that through the years. I had my few things that I liked, and as I kept trying stuff, learning new things in different situations, you will quickly find other lures that work, how to work them. I think having, you know, kind of a different arsenal of lures to use in different situations, you can be a lot more complete of an angler as opposed to like Back in the early days, I threw a spinnerbait and a Texas rig. And like, if they weren't eating those, I move on, you know? So don't be afraid to try new stuff. But that's it for me. I need to continue editing some more fun videos on the way. Love y'all. Thank y'all for watching. Until next time.